It's November. The year has gone. If you had plans for this year, just roll them over like minutes to next year because this year is done. Like when I say it's gone, I hope you took pictures of it because it went by faster than the previous year. It's November, also known as Movember. Movember meaning men grow out a mustache, people grow out mustaches in honor of solidarity, support of men's mental health, suicide awareness, and I am participating this year. I've never participated before, but I'm participating this year. If you've noticed, I have been on this trend for a while now. It has not been easy. I'll explain why. For those who are listening at home, for those that are watching, this is Just Killing Time. I'm Aranzio Vance. I drove to a desert. I drove to the middle of a desert. And apparently I'm not by myself because somebody just jogged behind me. So if anything ever happens to me, this video footage is like my Blair Witch where we don't know what happened to Maranzio after the taping because there was a guy jogging and then y'all will just try to go down the rabbit hole of trying to figure out who this guy is. Hopefully I'm important enough for people to want to solve my murder. But I drove to the middle of nowhere to talk about what I'm working on, the degrees of difficulty of it, the apprehensions, the frustrations. I'm sitting on an apple box in a desert, giving myself this illusion that I'm on Mars. I'm away from everybody in the world. And I'm comfortable enough talking about what bothers me because I don't have to worry about anybody judging me based upon what I'm uncomfortable with because they don't like it or it makes them uncomfortable. We live in a world where somebody can say, spiders make me uncomfortable. And there is a human being out there that will make an argument about spiders, question your toughness, question your mental health, will say you probably are a Trump voter or a Biden voter based upon the fact that you don't like spiders, right? We do that to each other. I don't know what part of the game that is. But I came out here trying to, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a state of denial where I tell myself that I'm in the middle of nowhere talking about things that I'm uncomfortable with, things that I want to try to unpack, things that I'm trying to make funny. More than anything, this is me trying to talk out the things that I would like to create into art to see if it moves people, inspires, makes you uncomfortable. The fact that my upbringing makes somebody else uncomfortable to the point that they don't want me to speak says a lot about our species, our race, our gender, me telling people about this is where I come from, this is what I went through, and then the people that are involved in it will try to silence you because it makes them look bad. People that should have supported you don't want you to talk about it because they don't want people to know that they failed you. And then there's people that have an idea of you, and the window for that is so narrow that if you do anything outside of that, then there's something wrong with you. You're weird. You're the R word. Oh my God. There are people coming. Anyway, so I decided to try to figure out how to turn this stuff into art, how to make jokes out of things, write about stuff. This is what this whole podcast, this whole exploration is about me just trying to figure out how to make, first of all, for me to make sense of what I'm going through, or for me to make sense of what I have seen, and then like put it into an art form and share it with people, for people to say, oh, I get that. Oh, I understand that. I support that. That fills my heart. Oh, I'm glad I'm not alone. This guy gets it. I really thought I was by myself, but then this family that's trying to bond and be together is really messing up what I'm trying to accomplish. Now it's like 3 women walking on a trail, and they see me, and I don't know if they are curious about who I am, what I'm doing, or the fact there's a black dude in the desert sitting on the apple box talking into a microphone. Like, I don't know what their issues are. Hold on one second. I have to make sure that I'm recording because I have been hurt before. And there's been so many times where I thought I was recording and I was not recording, and then I just walk away from the microphone like, I'm not doing this anymore. So anyway, I'm participating in Movember. I'm not a doctor, but I talk like one on YouTube and Instagram and on my podcast. I want to pick apart mental health for men, spiritual health, emotional health, physical health, wellness, appearance, thoughts on it. Have a conversation about it. And then the only way to do that is I have to take something that's happened to me in my life and then see how all 4 of those things apply to it, and then talk it out openly, because you can't do broad strokes. You can't say all men do this or all women do that. That's how you get in trouble. When you do absolutes, that's when you get, like, who are you to say? Hold on. I have to make sure. Okay. Who are you to say what's absolute, or who are you to say what all men do? The only thing I can say, I sit in my room sometimes and stare at the wall, and in the back of my mind I hear my conscience call. I don't do that. That's LL Cool J. I'll sit alone sometimes and I'll say to myself, what can you say that everybody can agree upon and no one can say? It depends on how you look at it. Is it safe to say that I can say that everybody alive is breathing and we can all agree on that? Is that not a statement that we can all agree on? Everybody alive is breathing, regardless if there's a machine helping you or not, regardless if you have a pig's heart, regardless if you are a vending machine. If you are alive, air has to be coming in and out of your body. Please, Neil deGrasse Tyson, prove me wrong. Tell me I'm dumb. Please pull me on Joe Rogan's show so I can do a bunch of drugs and then question the thing that I was standing behind, because I really felt like if you're alive, you gotta be breathing. And then someone's like, it depends on how you look at it. That's the world we live in. So last week I did an episode about anxiety. I email, I text, I even posted on Instagram asking men. I say, yo, Movember, for whatever reason, us as men don't like to talk out openly about the things that bother us, the things that make us insecure, the things that challenge our masculinity. We don't want to talk about our mental health. We don't want to talk about our physical health. We don't want to talk about our spiritual, emotional. Like, we don't talk. We're trying right now. We're trying. The problem with trying right now is such a fine line between genuine and capitalizing, monetizing. Like, we can't do nothing in this world to improve life without someone trying to figure out how to make money off of that thing. If it improves life, put a price on it. So I'm torn between, are we genuinely giving a fuck about men's mental health, people's mental health overall, or are we trying to find another way to monetize something to see how important people value their life, to determine how much they're willing to work to make sure they have the money to pour into their mental health? Like, we had to figure out how to monetize it. That's part of the reason. I said it last week, but I'll say it again. Full transparency. I shot a comedy special in the pandemic with my therapist at the time, who I met for the very first time when I shot this special. We shot it at the studio, and it was me doing 30 minutes of material, and then an hour, a very vulnerable hour and 25 to 30 minutes of therapy with this man who I had just met for the first time, that I actually enjoyed being vulnerable and discussing my insecurities and my pains and my sufferings and my trauma with, and then messed up that relationship with him because this project became a wedge between us, because the person who shot it, the company that shot it, didn't want to just release it. They wanted to try to figure out how to make money off of it. Then I shared it with my manager, who was excited in the beginning and then got cool on it later because somebody at the company that he works with was like, yeah, we've seen that before, not excited anymore. The project got dropped. Now it's sitting on a hard drive somewhere with the ARC, because the person who shot it wants to try to figure out how to make money off of it, but it's also me being very vulnerable. It's kind of like I got nude videos on this person's. I'm nude emotionally. I'm nude spiritually. I'm nude on this video, and this guy and his production company have it, and they won't release it, or they won't do anything with it, or it's going to sit on their hard drive because people really think they want to make a change in the world. But if you can make money off of it, why not? Concept is why nothing gets accomplished. Bars. So now I'm recreating that in a different format, because I took a 5-minute trailer that I had of what we shot and threw it online, and the production company flagged it, told YouTube to take it down, that it belongs to us. And now my account has been like either shadow banned, or I can't monetize on it, so I don't get a lot of views. So I feel like a lot of what I'm doing is in vain, but I don't want to think like that because I believe in the project that I'm working on. So sometimes it's 50-50 begrudgingly doing this because I feel like this is for nothing, because there are piece of shit people in the world. But I'm supporting Movember, and I'm in the middle of the desert, which I'm not alone, apparently. But I'm in this desert, and I want to talk about mental health, emotional health, physical health, spiritual health. Figure out different ways to tell these stories, different stories to tell. But also, I say here right now that for the whole month of November, for the next however many days there are in November, and I guess I could tack on some days in December, if you are a man who feels like you have nobody to talk to, if you're a man who feels like no matter what you say, no one's going to get it, you want to talk to somebody that's not a therapist, someone's not going to judge you, not a family member, no one's going to hold it against you, I'll make myself available for 30 minutes a day for one man to just have an emotional bowel movement where you just let all the shit off. We can talk. I can just listen. We can have a conversation. You can ask me advice that I'm not going to give, but I'll tell you a story about something identical to what you are talking about if I have something in my arsenal that supports whatever you're talking about, and tell you how I handled it based upon the information I had or what I was able to do at the time as far as my growth was. And you can take it from there. But I'm offering men who don't think they have anybody to talk to, get that emotional dump out. Let's talk it out. I'll listen. I will say that if you are open to having the conversation recorded and you remain anonymous, I would like to use the conversations for this project that I'm working on that I will share with you at the time if you agree to be a part of the project. It's a lot. I'm creating something. I got to be patient with it. I can't worry about who's not on board. It's my art. It's my art. It's my art. I'm Negro Noah right now. I'm building a boat. So with that being said, next I may do more than one podcast a week. Depends on how much my editor can help. But I'm aware of Movember. I'm going to participate in it. I encourage other men to participate in it. I don't know. We got this narrative going on right now where men are stopping other men from healing, getting better, and they think it's taking away their masculinity. Like D1, New Orleans rapper that I met in LA. He's also a school teacher, raised money, very conscious, very smart. I don't like to say the word conscious. He's just a good human. From what I'm able to see optics-wise and what I met in person, good human. If there's a hall of fame for people who should exist, he's in it. He recently called out Rick Ross for his music, which is something I've always said. Rap is toxic. There's a toxicity in rap that we do not want to talk about, that we will not allow ourselves to address because we police each other by saying, oh, you're not real, you're not a thug, you're not about that life because of whatever. And he called out Rick Ross saying, yo, dude, you got to stop rapping about drugs and selling drugs and killing and fucking women over. And Rick Ross was like, you don't even know Rose like that. I'm out here giving out turkeys. 20,000 turkeys a year. You understand? Rose out here giving kids laptops and bikes and stuff. Hot pepper wings with the lemon sauce or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Don't speak on what you... Right? And then Meek Mill came to Rick Ross's rescue or whatever. It's grown men jumping on landmines and grenades for other grown men who are in the wrong. When there's a man saying, look, it don't have to be that way. It could be better. They're like, no. This is how I make my money. By pretending that I'm cultured. The point I'm making is men, women. I even open up the door to women. If women want to talk to me about something man-related, I'm here for that too. This is vulnerability for Movember. I really don't go as hard as I want to sometimes because I feel like the things that I have done in my past will negate, diminish the things that I'm trying to do now because I see the error of my ways and I've grown, I'm mature, and I care more about certain things in life. Some things I don't care about, but I care differently now and I see the world differently now. And I feel like, the BS from my past is going to diminish. And people are like, oh, but he did that. And we don't allow each other to grow. But I have come to terms with I'm okay with it. It is what it is. Listen, and I don't mean this in a negative way. There are people out here who would drink water that she would spit or piss in if she offered it to them. She's a billionaire. She has created a culture. Kim Kardashian is famous from a sex tape. A sex tape has granted her kingdom. And we don't care. How dare I allow myself to not live the best life I can? Why not? What? Anyway, just killing time. I'm on a mission. There's a movement. I'm doing a one-man show. I got an exhibit coming. I'm trying to get my numbers up so I can take this pony on the road. Share the podcast, download the podcast, interact, jktpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to email me, I sincerely mean like email me, interact, like I'm waiting for it. I'm in the desert, people. For those who can't see, I'm in the desert. It's cold out here. I got class to teach tonight. I'm trying to create content to feed the algorithm, to gain followers. I'm in the desert.